Welcome to day 22 of 31 Days of Favor. I am Pastor Vernel Samuel, and I'm so excited about today's discussion. Today's session, we are going to be reading from Proverbs chapter 22. Proverbs chapter 22. So we're going to read the very first verse 1. And today we're going to talk about credibility. I'm going to talk about credibility or the power of having a good name. All right. So verse 1 says, a good name is to be chosen rather than great riches, loving favor rather than silver and gold. A good name is to be chosen rather than great riches. So Solomon is saying if you can choose between having great riches and having a great name, you should choose a great name. And that is wisdom speaking. What is a good name and how important is that? It means that when people hear your name, they desire to give you favor. When they hear your name, they're not disgusted by it. You know, some people have a name right now that I don't want to say any names, but when you hear their name, you're turned off. You don't want to speak to them. You don't want to hear anything out of their mouths. And it is important that if you're going to be a leader, especially, and every single one of you that's watching me, you are a leader in some way, shape, or form. But if you're going to be a leader, you need credibility. You need a good name. The credibility or the word credibility just simply means the quality of being believed in, or the quality to be trusted, or a quality of being trusted. And so it is directly linked to influence. The person who has a good name has a name that speaks, that goes before them, or a name that precedes them. And oftentimes, before you can enter into certain rooms or into certain atmospheres, people will look for your name. People are going to look into your name. Before you get to, if you were in school and you wanted to maybe get to a school of your choice, let's say you're in high school, you want to get to a college of your choice. Well, what's going to happen is the colleges see thousands of names. And so what they do is now they have to begin to look into the background of that person's name and what can they find, and what service have they offered, what gifts they have, what skill sets they have. Did they serve on a team? Did they play in a team? Did they were a part of a band? They start looking into everything that's attached to your name. You know, the root of the word credibility is credit. And so, for example, even in our banking system today, or credit card system, credit card companies, they look to determine how much money they'll lend you or give you, or that you can use based on your name or your history. You know, so credibility is created with time. A good name is created over time, and it is more important for you to protect your name. Solomon says, then he says that it's even more important than having great riches, having a lot of money. I have a friend who's a lawyer, and one of the things that I asked him to come when I was a teacher, I asked him to come and do a presentation to my students. And one of the things that he talked about with them was the importance of how they manage their social media pages. And he said to them, he said, today, people are no longer hiring based on your resume. They're going to Google your name, search your name, and they're going to see whatever pops up online, social media regarding your name. And he told them, he said, you got to be careful about what you post. If you desire to get into certain rooms and you desire to get in, to have certain positions in the workforce, he says you got to make sure you monitor what you're posting about yourself, because now people are looking up your name online and they're going to see what they're going to look up what they can find to judge or determine if you can be trusted. It's credibility. So the most essential quality, like I said, for leadership, is not perfection, it's credibility. People must be able to trust you. Again, in churches, there are so many people, so many pastors who are anointed, are gifted, are great preachers, but unfortunately, due to mistakes or due to error or whatever reasons, they've lost credibility in the eyes of people because they didn't protect that. They didn't protect that name, the integrity of their name. And so, John Maxwell, who is the, one of the leadership experts in today's time, he made this statement about credibility, and I want to just read it for you. He said, to gain credibility, you must consistently demonstrate three things: initiative, sacrifice, and maturity. To gain credibility, you must consistently demonstrate these three things. Initiative means you have to get up to go up. You have to get up to go up. Sacrifice, you have to give up to go up. And maturity, you have to grow up to go up. Initiative means you have to get up to go up. That means you have to do something, and you have to do something first, and you must do it consistently to gain credibility in the eyes of other people. Sacrifice, you have to give up to go up. People are looking to see the sacrifices you make to determine whether or not you can be trusted or believed in. And maturity, you have to grow up to go up. A lot of people lose credibility in the eyes of people because they're very immature or make immature decisions. There are men who are trying to gain favor in the eyes of women, but when they see their immaturity, they're turned off. They lost credibility. I don't know if I can trust you with my life. These are the things you have to think about. I know we always say, like, you should live in such a way where you don't care what other people think about you, but you must also live in such a way that you do care about what other people think about you, because your credibility is currency. Your credibility is currency because if you lack credibility, it's almost like you're bankrupt. People don't want to do any business with you. People don't want to do life with you. People don't even want to do friendship with you because you have a bad name. And it takes work to build credibility. In that same quote, John Maxwell went on to say, he said, if you show the way, people will want to follow you. The higher you go, the greater the number of people who will be willing to travel with you. And so, what are some of the things that destroy credibility? What are some of the things that ruin credibility? Number one, lack of character. Lack of character. Once again, if you're immature, if you're hot-headed, if you are never really in control, you don't have self-control, you lack composure, you just simply don't look like you have your own life together, people are not going to be willing to listen to you or follow you or trust you. Because remember, it's all about trust. It's all about, can I believe in this person's word? Because integrity and credibility go hand in hand. A person who has a good name, that means that their word is also good. People can listen to them and trust them because they have a good name. So he says, a good name is to be chosen rather than great riches, and loving favor is better than silver and gold. Another way people ruin the credibility in their life and the credibility in the eyes of others is by over-promising and under-delivering. Over-promising and under-delivering. Listen, a highly credible person masters this one trick. This is a trick. This is a hack. If you want to increase your credibility right now, you have to learn how to under-promise and over-deliver. Don't talk about how great you are. Don't talk about how powerful, special you are, or how much better you are at everything than everybody else. Because all that means is you have to put your money where your mouth is. And if you don't live up to the hype that you create for yourself, you will diminish your credibility just like that. So it's always better to under promise and over deliver. Again, in relationships, you might have somebody who will promise the world to a woman, and I'll promise to do this, promise to do that, and they can't live up to it. And then that lowers the credibility in that person's eyes. Or again, a leader who proposes that they're going to be able to do 20 different things in one day, and really and truly they can't, and then they fail to do so, and now people learn to not trust their word. So you want to under promise and over deliver. Okay. And once again, and it's all about character building. It's all about learning how to just be a person of your word. Don't believe that you gotta brag or boast your way into favor with a person. It's better that you humble yourself and live up to your word, live up to your promises. Just be able to make small promises. Just like what in the credit system today, what they do is they don't trust someone who doesn't have any credit history. And so our credit card companies understand this thing called credibility. Before a credit card company can just give you $500,000, $1 million, they want to see what you did with $500, what you did with $1,000, what you did with $1,500. And if you can be consistent and faithful to build your credit, where you can pay your bills on time, pay your credit card companies back on time. What you're doing is you're building credibility with credit card companies, in which they say, wow, you paid your bills for the last 6 months on time. Here, we're going to give you more money. And if you keep doing that for another year, they'll say, hey, we can trust you with more money. And so having a credit card, some of you guys probably in credit card debt, you faulted on your repayments or whatever the case may be, and that's hurting not just your credit but your credibility. And so even our credit card company systems, if you look at it right, it's a kingdom principle that if you learn how to just simply be faithful with a little, you'll be trusted with more. And so I encourage you to just desire to build in the area of credibility. It is something that the Bible says is to be chosen rather than having great riches. If you can build a great name for yourself, then wherever you go in life, people would hear your name and will trust you with influence. They would trust you with influence, and your influence will then create the atmosphere around your life. When you get into a room, people will want to connect with you. People will want to partner with you. People will want to do life with you because your name precedes you. And so I pray that every one of you that's watching this video, that you're going to work on your credibility this year. Continue to under promise, but over deliver. Continue to just be present. Although visibility is not credibility, it's important that people see you and people know that you will be there for them. And if you're a leader, I encourage you, make sure that you do everything in your power to protect your name, because without that, you ain't going to really be able to go far. And so that's day 22, 31 days of favor. I'll see you tomorrow.